Now here's a truth for us all. The will of God will not take you where the grace of God cannot sustain you. Just as a bird can build a nest from broken branches, our God can build a family from broken people. And remember, when you looked back on the sand and saw only one set of footprints, it was then God was carrying you. How many people wanting to serve the Lord, feeling unqualified, uneducated, without the knowledge they require? I want to remind you of this. If you have a burning desire to serve God, He doesn't just call the qualified. He qualifies the called. You go to Him and say, "Here I am, Lord, use me. Brokenness and all, problems and all. Lord, I trust you. I'm going to lay my life before you." Because, friend, it never was you in the first place. The scriptures tell us, greater is He that is in you than he that is in the world. If you come from a background of messiness, and how many of us do, you simply raise your hands toward heaven and say, "Dear Lord, I believe in you." So He'll test you, He'll mold you, He'll take you to places where your character is strengthened. I've often said to people, a character that is not tested is a character that cannot be trusted. And so give God that permission in your life to take you sometimes where you don't want to go, to do some things you don't want to do, because you said, "Lord, I surrender. I surrender it all to you. There's a mess in my family. There's a mess in my finances. There's a mess in my health." And God said, "Would you just trust in me? Trust in the Lord with all your heart." You come to Him and you said, "Lord, I receive you and I give it all to you." You want to serve Him? Then serve Him. You want your family healed? Then remember, nests are built from broken branches and He will put it all together. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do that which you must do. Friend, God is calling you to do some things that you've never done before, to get what you never had before. And He'll help you. The Holy Spirit within you. If the same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead dwells in you, He will quicken your mortal body. He will give you wisdom and knowledge and understanding, the like of which you never had before, simply by a vessel, a person that says, "Here I am, Lord, use me. Use me to be a blessing in my family. Use me to be a blessing in my company. Use me to be a blessing to my neighbor. Use me in my church, that I might be that person that supplies hope and love to those people." Church is not a palace. Your local church is not a palace. It's a hospital. It's a place where people come to receive hope. Bring that message of hope. Remember, God will not take you where His grace cannot sustain you. Trust in a living God. Stop trying to figure everything out. Your 5-pound brain can't work out the mysteries of God. Jesus said, "Come to me, all you who are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Man looks at a tree and sees apples, but God will look at an apple and see apple trees. A seed mentality, a vision mentality, to look beyond today and see God in our tomorrow. The seed that leaves your hand never leaves your life, but it enters your future where it multiplies. And I'll tell you something about people. Those that have a seed mentality are the only ones with vision for their future. Lay hold of a seed mentality. It may not happen today, but just like that farmer, you plant a seed today in your family, in your mind, in your heart, in your church, in your community, in your friends. Let me tell you a truth that'll resonate into your future, that Jesus is Lord of the harvest. When you received him, it was just as I am, without one plea, but that thy blood was shed for me. Oh, my friend, come on, rise up. He doesn't just call the qualified, he qualifies the called. So now raise your hands toward heaven and say, "Here I am, Lord. Use me." God will use you. God will bless you. God will put that nest, that family back together. He will help that broken life. He will restore that tired mind, rebuild those emotions again. For what the enemy has stolen unjustly, God will restore. There is a river that flows from God above. There is a fountain that's filled with His great love. Now, as we come to that water and trust in a living God, He will use you in ways you never thought possible. Stand up, Christian. Raise your hands toward heaven and declare Jesus Christ is Lord.